Gianni's got the stories from the coast to countryside. Jeannie's got the questions sharp as Sinatra's sway. Every Wednesday night we take you all the way. From the back streets of Tinseltown to the Trattoria's glow. Old Hollywood meets Mafia tales, and you're about to know it's the Hollywood Godfather, where the big band plays and the stories don't stop. With Gianni and Jeannie everywhere, they're taking you to the top. Keep it smooth and keep it classy. Feel that swing non-stop on the Hollywood Godfather.
Welcome, everybody. It's time for another Hollywood Godfather podcast. And tonight's a very special show for me because one of my closest friends, who's a great critique for us and an avid fan, is going to be on. But let me introduce the lady first, Jeannie Raymond, and my close friend, Robert Baldacci, is being generous tonight and going to get into his legacy, which is amazing, of what's gone on in this country for him. So with that, Robert Baldacci, my friend.
My friend Gianni and Jeannie, thank you very much for the opportunity to be on your show tonight. I really appreciate it. Gianni, you've been a great friend. So
when I read what you and Teddy just accomplished, and now Teddy has another generation, I just thought, right, what a great way just to what your family has done. And we need some history on that because the audience don't know what we know.
I would love to, Gianni. Yeah, Teddy and I, my son, my youngest son, and I have formed a company called the Baldacci Group. We're affiliated with Keller Williams in Portland.
That's an original name.
Well, unless you got a better one.
No, I think it's fabulous.
Yeah, no. So it is what it is. Anyway, we formed a company. We're going to be doing commercial real estate primarily, multifamily, hotels, hospitality, businesses, and I'm so proud of my son. He is constantly working, constantly on the phone. You know how a lot of people just are afraid to pick up the phone and make a cold call? Right. Well, this kid is unbelievable, and he's got a great way about him. And I'm just thrilled, Gianni and Jeannie, to be working in this capacity with my son. I've been involved in Maine here in business, all kinds of different businesses for, I hate to say it, but maybe 50 years. I know I don't look it, Jeannie.
Yeah, you did great. I told Gianni, he said, "Do you remember him?" And I said, "I remember all of our handsome guests." That's
all
exactly
right, Jeannie. Thank you. And we all remember you. So,
but I remember meeting him early on also when he first got the job at the Breakers.
That's right.
And he used that to get so many connections. And I think that was the stepping stone for where you are now with him.
In a lot of ways, absolutely. I mean, he's met everybody there. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we met Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan gave him $100 tip. Just said, it's just and it's great. Teddy grew up in our family where he met so many people. I mean, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, celebrities, Gianni Russo. So
I'm on way.
Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'm on that bottom list. But that's the other thing. Your family has been so politically involved.
Yeah.
And now you mentioned earlier today that your brother's now running for the Senate. I mean, my
younger brother Joe is running for the House, the U.S. House. Yes, and he's got a primary coming up in June. We're keeping our fingers crossed. I think he's going to do well. I'm the oldest of 8, Jeannie, oldest of 8 kids, and grew up in Bangor, Maine. My dad and my grandparents started a restaurant originally was called the Baltimore, because when my grandfather immigrated from Italy They landed in Baltimore, Maryland. He ended up getting a job in the North Woods as a cook, and then he wanted to open up his own business. So he opened up this little bar in Bangor called the Baltimore, and we all grew up in that business. My dad, after my grandparents, my grandfather passed away, my father and my uncle Vasco, along with my grandmother, uh, worked the business, and we all did. I mean, Gianni, it was one of the first Italian American restaurants in Maine.
Oh,
And
wow.
in 1933, it was established, and we would get. I mean, the Kennedys have been there. We've had sports teams that would come up from Boston. Uh, the Celtics, the back then it was the Boston Patriots, the Red Sox. Ted Williams used to come in the restaurant all the time because he would love to come up to Maine to fish. So we got to know Ted Williams quite well. All kinds of people. It was a great restaurant, and it morphed into what became known as Mama Baldacci's,
Yes.
and we ran that until my parents had passed away very young, and my I had two brothers, Jerry and Paul, who were running the restaurant, and my brother Jerry just passed away last year, and so we had to close the restaurant. My brother John at the time was the governor of the state of Maine. John is the
Wow.
third oldest in the family, and you've talked to John before, Jeannie. I mean Gianni. You've talked to John. He was first a four-term congressman from Maine, representing the largest congressional district east of the Mississippi. Huge district in Maine, and we only have two congressmen in Maine. And John was the one in the more conservative district, the Northern Maine, Eastern Maine district. And he was there he worked hard. He had a great reputation. We used to go around the state doing these spaghetti dinners. That was his trademark. So we'd
That's
go
smart.
into, yep. So we do the spaghetti and meatballs. We would, whatever money we charged, like $4 or $5 for people to do this, but we had huge crowds, and we always gave the money to local charities. And it's sort
That's
of been a trademark that John started, and now my brother Joe is doing the same thing. So, but with us, it's all about family, and we're very proud of our heritage. Uh, my dad, just his mother and father immigrated from Lucca, Italy, which is in Tuscany, outside of
yeah.
Pisa and between Pisa and Florence.
Right.
And he came in the early 1900s. Adolfo was his name. He came first, and he joined the U.S. military and served
Oh,
in World
wow.
War One as an
That was
American.
smart.
Yep. And they got out because Mussolini was starting to take power, and it was Italy was slowly marching toward fascism.
Yeah.
And said, "This, I want to go to America." So he did. They settled in Providence, Rhode Island, and Providence has probably one of the largest Italian American populations of any probably outside of New York on a per capita basis.
I spent so much time on Federal Hill. Forget about
And
it.
my father and his brother grew up on Federal Hill, and
Oh, yeah.
he
The old
used to tell
cantina.
us,
I
Gianni,
was always in the old cantina. Forget about it.
that's right. That's exactly right. That's a great restaurant. And Raymond Patriarca had his little
That's where I
establishment.
used to go. I used to bring envelopes from Costello to Raymond Petriacco, who was running New England Crime
Oh
Family.
yes. Oh yes. And Dad used to say, Raymond Patriarca, you could say whatever you want about him, but he was a nice guy. He loved the
Oh my
kids.
God, yeah,
He
yeah.
gave them ice cream, free ice cream, whatever they
Oh,
wanted.
the ice cream truck will pull up. It's to get the kids anything they want.
Yeah. And this is the head of the New England Mafia, Jeannie. So
When I first started getting into podcasts years ago, the first podcast I listened to was about all of this, Raymond Petrarca, and That was the very first one I've listened to. I want to go back and listen to all the ones I listened to before I knew Gianni.
Yes,
Because,
yes.
I've listened to those. And then once I met Gianni and Pat, I would write in questions asking about these podcasts I have heard. And that's how
Yeah.
Gianni and I got introduced, was asking questions about other things that I had heard in all these other podcasts. But that was the very first one, was about him.
No, that's
I
that's that's very cool. Yeah. I never had the opportunity to meet him, Gianni, but
Oh yeah.
uh,
Oh, you were
he
too young.
I was too young. I was too young, but Dad
Yeah,
certainly knew
I
him.
was up there in my teens. That's the
No
only
kidding.
reason I met him.
Yeah, wow.
I was
But
up there
Federal
around
Hill,
13, 14.
just it's a great Italian American neighborhood.
Oh my
One of
God.
the
And still
best,
is. And
and
still
it
is.
still and it still is. That's
I
correct.
got married up there twice.
Which church? My grandmother was married at the Lady of Mount Carmel,
Yeah, no,
right
I was at St. Mary's,
St. Mary's. Okay.
and I
So
got married at
my
the Biltmore
grandfather.
Hotel.
Oh, at the which hotel? The Biltmore?
Yeah, the big one.
Yep, that's
No,
the
I had
Biltmore.
100 years of good behavior at my wedding.
My just a little story about my grandfather Adolfo. Uh, he worked as a baker at the Biltmore, but he was right in the middle of the Patriarcha, whole all of that in the neighborhood. And one day, my grandmother, we called her Nana, but her name was Rita, came home and found my grandfather on the kitchen floor in a pool
Oh,
of
wow.
blood. And she used we'd ask her, Nana, what happened to our grandfather, and how did he die? Well, he had a cerebral hemorrhage, and I don't think that that was the case. I think
Oh,
nobody has a cerebral hemorrhage and lying in a pool of blood.
There you go.
So
oh,
I think he might have gotten crossed with some bad people. So at that point, my grandmother took my father, Roberto, and his brother Vasco back to Italy. She got the
oh,
hell out of
oh,
Rhode
sure. Well,
Island.
she knew.
Yeah.
She knew.
She knew something, and so she
Wow.
waited a few years. They lived in Lucca, came back. And she was. She went back to Providence and with two young boys, and they had a they some of her friends was saying there's a guy up in Bangor, Maine, who just opened up a bar. Good man. He's looking for a good wife, and he could give good support to you and your family. His name is Jimmy Caparelli. So he was the one that really started the restaurant. And so Nana went up with the boys. She said Bangor, Maine is the last place I want to be. Very few Italians, but she needed some help. And so long story short, she marries Mr. Caparelli, and she's the one, once she got into the restaurant, she says, enough of this, you know, uh, beer tap business. We're going to make some great pasta. We're going to make some great spaghetti, lasagna, ravioli. And she was a phenomenal cook, almost as good as you, almost as good
No,
as
no, no.
you.
I'm sure she was better. No, but the interesting thing, people don't realize the profit in Italian food is the best.
Hmm.
The spaghetti costs nothing.
That's right.
Lasagna,
Great
it's
margins.
all being creative, and you can make a big profit.
Yeah, and they did. So the restaurant under my grandmother's leadership was so successful, and we used to have lines right out the door.
Oh, I can
We had
imagine.
the waiters, all men waiters, and they had the black vest and the red bow ties. I mean, but it was a very
Classy.
casual. I mean, you'd be sitting there with Ted Williams and God knows who would happen
Oh,
to
that's
come in,
great.
and it was a great place to grow up. A great.
Did you spend any time in Providence, Rhode Island?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, my
You
grandfather
ever
is
go to
buried there.
Khaleesi's Bakery?
Oh, sure. I know it
Oh,
well.
that's my cousin.
Are you serious? Yeah.
My
The old
grandmother,
canteen.
my
Huh?
grandmother was a DeRobio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Okay.
he was a judge up there. Nobody can believe that.
Yeah. Joe Paolino, he succeeded Buddy Cianci as the mayor
Yeah,
of,
I remember Buddy too.
and Paolino became a very good friend of mine. Clinton appointed him to be ambassador to Malta, but he owns a lot of real estate. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
and he opened up a lot of doors for us in Providence. But I love Providence. Loved it.
Oh
Loved it.
yeah, I love Rhode Island.
Yeah, Rhode Island's great. Rhode Island's
It's a
great.
nice place to go. I have a grandson going to Brown up there right now.
Oh wow. Brown is,
I had the biggest connection to Brown. People couldn't
what is it?
understand.
Tell us.
I used to say, your kid wants to go to Brown. They said, yeah. I said, I'll get him in. They said, what? Because I make the call. Call Raymond. He puts anybody in.
Seriously?
Oh no, if they had the grades, and there's a
Yeah, yeah,
waiting list
yeah.
to get into Brown.
Yeah, John Kennedy Jr. Went to Brown.
I know.
Uh, anyway, we could
Wow.
talk about the Kennedy family and our connection, politics, but now on my mother's side, Jeannie, she's Lebanese. So
Okay.
so her parents immigrated from Beirut to America. And so my mother was at the restaurant on a date, and my father waited on her and somehow slipped a phone number to her.
I
And
love it. Sounds like a
so
Baldacci at
oh
home.
yeah, something you and I would do, Gianni, right?
Of course.
Very slick.
My mother was a beautiful, beautiful woman, and she
That's
had a lot of suitors that wanted to date her, but somehow she and my dad connected, and
I love that.
so fast forward 8 kids later, and but I think
Wow.
about them all the time. My father,
so
mother,
how did the politics get involved then? Because
my dad,
your
my
family is
dad,
so political.
yeah, my father was one of the early Democrats in Maine. Maine used to be a very strong Republican state, but there was a guy who was a former mayor of Waterville, and he ultimately became governor. His name was Ed Muskie. Ed Muskie was a towering figure, and he ran for president. He was Jimmy Carter's let's see, vice president, no, Secretary of State.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so Ed Muskie, and he was a longtime U.S. senator from Maine, and highly regarded, great respect. So Dad worked with him early on to build up what was the Democratic Party back then.
Yeah.
And then 1959, Dad went to an event in Augusta, Maine, where a young senator from Massachusetts was appearing, and his name was John F. Kennedy.
I was thought
And
you were going to say
I
that.
have a program that from that event that Jack signed for my father 2 or 3 times.
Oh
And
wow.
I've got
Wow.
it. I don't have it here with me, but I have it. It's a great keepsake. And so he connected with Kennedy back then, and then Kennedy had said, "Look, I'm thinking of running for president." 1960. In 1960, my dad brought him to Bangor, Maine, for a big event, and that's when I had a chance to meet him. I was 8 years old. I was born in 1952, Jeannie. 1952. That's a long time ago. Harry Truman was president.
You're so cute.
I can't believe it myself. But anyway, I met him. Gianni, you've known Kennedy. You've worked with
Oh
him.
yeah,
You've
yeah.
been with him many times. But
I
when
met
he
Joe, the father, and then the kids later on. Yeah.
yeah, when he stepped out on the stage, Jeannie, I mean, it was like
That was it.
he was tanned.
Yeah.
Very handsome guy, and just I mean, he had the crowd in the palm of his hands. And
They invited, oh, Joe Kennedy invited Frank Costello to go. He wouldn't want to go. So I'm glad I went. I said, I want to go. He said,
sure,
go ahead and go. So I went. I
yeah.
was 10 rows from the podium.
Oh, at the inaugural.
Yeah. But not
Wow.
only that, I bought a Brownie camera. Don't ask me why I bought it. I have the pictures.
Oh,
I
you do?
took the pictures with Eisenhower. There was five
Yeah.
presidents
Oh, yeah. The Harry
on
Truman,
the podium.
Eisenhower. Yep.
Yeah.
I know it.
And then they had Sinatra because what most people don't know, how they got in was because of all the mob and the unions throughout the United States. You would never have a Catholic president. Never.
No.
So with that happened, again, I went to all the parties and I knew Sinatra because he came to the
Sure.
Copa every night.
Yeah, sure.
So he introduced me to everybody. Everybody was talking to me, saying, "Who's this kid?" I was like 17 when he became the
What
president.
an experience. That's
Oh
amazing.
no, so crazy.
Yeah, I know it. So from
And
that
they
point
all called
on,
me the kid.
yeah,
Nobody.
the kid.
Nobody knew
Nobody knew
my
his name.
nobody knew my name until I made The Godfather.
Are you serious?
Nobody knew my name
Yeah.
because that's the way Frank wanted it. He said, "You can't get indicted." I said, "Why?" He said, "You can't get indicted. You can't get a ticket. You can't do nothing. You're the kid. How are they going to
You were
find you?"
lucky. You were lucky to have somebody like Frank Costello
Oh my
Oh,
God.
under
Oh,
your
here,
wing.
look behind me. It's Frank
I
Costello.
know, I know. Jeannie, if you ever have a chance, you got to go to New York and have dinner with Gianni and Julia.
somehow we circle around to food every time we talk. Every podcast, it seems like, and I'm just thinking, oh, I want some Italian, some that warm bread and the sauces that Gianni loves to make. And everyone,
So,
I'm like, I got to get there and have that food. And
and
and listening to everybody that's gone there to eat, and people will say, I want to come see your house, and I'll always say, so do I.
it's an experience.
This is
We,
a good
Beth
time
and
to
I
make
loved it.
on
Yes.
with the Baldacci
Well,
legacy,
so
please.
we thank you, Gianni. We had politics in our blood as well as food and being in the restaurant business. And my dad was one of these guys that was all about if you're going to get involved in public service, make a difference for the people. It's not about a title or when my brother John first started out, he was on the city council and then he became a state senator. And when he'd come home, and John was one of these guys that loved being in the restaurant. No matter what, even if when he was governor of the state of Maine, he would come to the restaurant on weekends and wash dishes, check in people.
Oh, wow.
Governor of the state of Maine. Just it's in, with us, it was always about giving back. And my dad always used to say, John, what I don't care what you did yesterday. What did you do to help people today? What did you do? And that's sort of
Oh,
been a mantra, not only for him, but for all of us. And I didn't get involved in politics. I was more behind the scenes, but I I've always tried to give back. And I know you do too, Gianni, in so many different ways. So
like you, I was given so much by people.
yeah,
And
yeah,
when I'm not, I always believe like you do, you got to give back. You can't
you got
just
to
keep
give back.
taking. You can't
Yeah.
keep taking.
So we did, so John was the first one to dip his toe into politics. He got on the Bangor City Council, and then he ran for the state senate, served several terms, and then decided to run for Congress. And so he did. It was a very crowded field, but he worked his tail off from one end, from Presque Isle, Caribou to Augusta to Lewiston. It's a huge district, Gianni, and he worked so hard. And he was told, look, if you're going to get into this, you got to give 110%. So he put his house on the mar on mortgaged his house, took everything he had in the bank accounts, put it in, and
Wow.
put it
Wow.
into the campaign. He really, and that's what anybody that's ever asked me, advice for getting involved in politics, you have to be 100% in personally and financially. Because if you're out there asking people for money, how much money are you putting in? What are you doing to advance your own candidacy? So John took that to heart, and he was extremely successful. The district is a very conservative district. It's Trump carried it both times he ran, two or three times he ran for president. It's conservative, but it's working families, people who are struggling paycheck to paycheck, and
Right.
that's what John tapped into. It was all about helping people, helping them with their Social Security, Medicaid, veterans. Jeannie, I know you're involved with the veterans. My brother was a huge advocate for veterans in so many different ways,
Mhm.
and from there he became governor of the state of Maine. It was unfortunate that my father passed away just before John
Oh,
became congressman. My mother was still alive, but Dad passed away at the age of 64, pancreatic cancer. It was
oh my goodness.
horrible,
That's so
horrible.
young.
64, 8 kids. Bangor Daily News and the papers had big stories on Dad and what kind of he was so highly regarded. People loved him. Uh, and uh, and then my mother passed away just before John became governor of the state of Maine. So,
Wow.
Oh,
so
but
it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
Think about, but they're in heaven looking down,
Yes.
oh,
and
sure.
I know they have a smile on their face. So
They're actually watching us do this show.
they're watching
Yes.
us do the show. One story about our Italian heritage, Gianni, that might be of interest to your viewers and listeners is when John was running for Congress. Uh, he had one guy that was running against him started to run ads implicating, basically with a gangster type voice and the soundtrack to the Godfather theme,
Oh my God.
basically implying that my brother was connected in the underworld, and it upset us terribly. And a very good friend of mine, Emilio Fontana, he's from Beverly Hills. He was the president of the Italian American Chamber of Commerce. And I called Emilio and I said, Emilio, I don't know if there's anything you can do about this, but this is outrageous. This is a racial attack because my brother is Italian. They're trying to tie him to this
Right.
crap about the underworld. And it was a horrible ad, Gianni. I can't imagine. You'd never
Wow.
get away with it today. So he made some calls. We had a bunch of major figures in the Italian American community file objection to the FEC, Federal Election Commission,
That's
and
fabulous.
so they took it right down. But I'll never forget that. I usually, being in politics, you have to have a thick skin
Oh
because
my God.
people will
I
sit.
remember years ago when Andrew Cuomo was going to run,
Mhm.
and the fact that most people don't know this, his father-in-law was a mob guy.
Right, I knew that.
Oh yeah, well yeah, very
Oh,
few people do,
no,
but
that's right. I had
and
heard
that's
that.
why he stepped down. He would have been president. He was
Yeah,
so powerful, but I mean, his charisma on stage, speech. I went with him in a lot of places, but he just didn't want to go through it, and he didn't
yeah,
want to drag his in-laws in through it because they were going to attack them.
yeah, yeah.
A
Oh,
lot
I'm
of
sure.
people use our heritage against us, not
They
for us.
do. They do. And they certainly did in this instance, but didn't play well because Maine's a small state. I don't care whether you're running in a district or you're running statewide. We have 1,300,000 people. How many in Utah, Jeannie?
I don't know. I don't
No.
know.
Yeah, but Maine's not a very populous state. So, in our family, pretty well known. After all these years with being in the restaurant, politics, it's what goes around comes around, and you know we try to focus on our family and support our family, and that's what we're going through this again with my brother Joe. It's once you put your neck out on the line and running for office, it's terrible what people will come up with.
It's open game.
And
And
now with
you're
social
target.
media, Gianni, now with social
Oh,
media, it's people can say whatever the hell they want, hiding in their basement, typing
Oh,
whatever
forget
they
about
want.
it. Yeah.
It's awful.
right. There's 3.55 million as of late 2025.
Okay, so you're
Yeah,
3 times the size of Maine.
I
So
mean, well, speaking of that the people that want to get on and post all kinds of garbage
yeah,
on social media, and then they do it anonymously.
I know.
I've been watching a thread of some stuff that was going on in the horse racing world, and
Yeah,
people are horrendous. The stuff they're coming out with and the accusations and all the stuff they're saying, and then they, do it anonymously. And I think it's ridiculous.
It's
If
going
you
to,
believe in what you're saying, put your name behind it.
but the
But
exactly.
bottom line, it's going to get worse now with this AI.
oh, that's what I was
AI,
just going
how
to
do you
say.
Now these are fictitious people. They don't even exist that are
Right.
saying this. So how do you
Gianni,
attack them? I mean, it's great.
they could take your image
Yeah.
and have you and listen, have you say all kinds of horrible things.
Right.
People, I mean, some of the stuff I've seen, I don't know, is this real or is it AI?
I don't know what is
Oh,
real
there's a ton of
anymore.
it.
Some of it
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was thinking that, you look at crimes that are I listen to too much crime stuff, but all these things where they say, well, there's cameras everywhere, and so I've told my kids that since they were little. There's a camera everywhere. Do
There
not
is.
be a horse's ass, or someone's
Oh,
gonna have it on film. And
I
nowadays,
kind of like it myself that this
well,
camera.
you
Well,
do,
that's right. I
well,
do
you
too.
like it for your protection, but then if you think of people putting your face and your likeness and doing things, that's terrifying. And I thought about that the other day, and I thought, well, I don't know how easy it is to prove that it's AI or Memorex, so
It's
it's
very
just so
odd.
scary.
It's
Yeah,
because the funniest thing every time I hear about that, it's I think of how smart Costello was by naming me the kid. There was no way you
Yeah,
could
oh
find
yeah,
me.
that's right. That's
That's
right.
why he did it. That's what these people are doing. They're
Yeah.
hiding behind a fictitious image and name. So how are you
Yeah.
going to
yeah.
find them?
I know
And
it.
they say what they want.
Very, very disconcerting. It really, it's a huge issue that I can see a lot of pluses with
Sure.
AI, but some of the negatives are very disturbing. Particularly in the hands of when you get kids involved. There was an article in the paper today about how English teachers now. No, normally that you'd be a teacher would say, I want you to write a report, go home, that's your homework, come back the next day and we'll grade it. Now they're all using AI, so now they're forced to do the writing in class under the supervision of the teacher, so they know what the hell they're writing and that it's from them and not fake. But it's crazy.
With the VA, they allow us to. They brought it in. It's part of our computer now, but you know, you've got to be real careful and proofread what you put if you're doing things. But it's so easy to use. In fact, someone sent something out today, and I said to the gal I was sitting by, I said, that was a really sweet message, but nowadays, do you did this
Do you
person
believe it?
really write this? Or did they just throw some stuff into AI and here you go, there's my statement. But I mean, there's so many good things to it, and then there's so much scary stuff to it.
There is. We
But it
had
can make you sound great.
we had I've got a local TV show that I do with a good friend of mine, and Gianni's been on it, I think three
Oh yeah, yeah,
times, many
Yeah,
times.
I've seen that. Run
And
this.
I think so.
yeah. I've been
Yeah, that's
Tell
correct.
us the name, Robert. It's
It's a
well,
Runlet and Baldacci report,
okay.
and
I
it's
get. I
on
had the name right.
YouTube. It's on YouTube. We've had Joe Kennedy. We've had Gianni, obviously. I've had senators, politicians, sports figures. It's we have a lot of fun with it. We have a
Yeah,
lot of fun. So anyway, we're that's one of my side gigs among many.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
but that's why though you're so flexible and
it's
so
not,
many directions. You
Gianni,
got
it's not all about making money, although that's important. But you gotta, like you. I marvel at your host, Jeannie. He's just an inspiration. He
Isn't
really is.
he
The
incredible?
stuff that he gets involved in, and his mind doesn't stop. And
That's
I
the only
just
reason I do is to keep my mind sharp. I'm doing it very selfishly.
well, that's smart. But you are. I mean, you're every day you got a new challenge, a new opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you, really.
Oh,
You're
and that's why even like when I read about Teddy and what he's doing and what you did do now, that's why I wanted to exploit it and say
Thank
not to
you.
be abandoned of our friendship,
Thank you.
but
Yeah.
it's nice to see family unity, keeping a tradition going. And
Yeah.
now you got another generation with his daughter.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Sophia Angelina Baldacci.
Hello. Is
She,
that a
Jeannie,
Jewish
she's
name or
adorable.
is
She's
that a
adorable.
Jewish name?
It's not a Jewish name.
Sophia Angelina, Maron.
I know, I
That's
know.
great. God
Well,
bless.
So, Robert, how old is your boy? I saw a picture of him that you
22,
were 22.
22. He's 6'2". And then I have an older son, Bobby, who's just and he's got three kids, so I've got four grandkids.
Ah,
Bobby lives here. He's done extremely well, and so proud of him as well. And I've got two stepdaughters, Caroline, who is traveling the world, and she's in Albania now.
oh
And
my gosh.
yeah,
You went to see her, actually.
huh?
Did
You
you go
went
to
to see
Did.
her.
Albania?
And when she was in Argentina, we saw her. Beth and I spent time with her, and then Alexandra Allie is in New York, New Jersey, and she's flying helicopters.
Oh, wow.
Is
That's
Wow.
just
awesome.
crazy. She just is passionate about it, loves it, loves it. So
That's
I'm
amazing.
blessed. I'm blessed.
Especially
You know,
helicopters in New York City. My God.
I know it. So if you ever want a free ride around Manhattan on a helicopter, let me know.
Yeah.
that's
I
wild.
wouldn't,
Huh?
you'll never get that call.
I've ridden in one of those, and we were sitting there, and all of a sudden, you're sitting there, and it's like the ground drops out beneath you, and I was like, oh wow, it's exhilarating. That's
It is. She
awesome.
loved it. She loved it. We thought for sure, Jeannie, she was going to be an actress. Beautiful. She's beautiful. She's so talented. She had the lead in all those plays and musicals. Went to New York to be trained how to sing, and LA. She was out there for a while. We thought, okay, Broadway
Here we
movies.
come.
No,
Wow.
she just got into a helicopter one day and she said, "This is what I want to do." So you never
Does she
know.
work for a major company out here?
Yeah, she's going to be training other pilots, but her fiance, her boyfriend, does work for Blaze, I think it is. They do a lot of work ferrying, transporting billionaires and celebrities from
Wow.
the airports into Manhattan and back.
Oh yeah, I know
Oh
that
my
company. Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, yeah,
Right on the East right on the East River.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's where they are. So,
I've used them actually.
have you? So you have been in a helicopter.
Oh, I've been in
Well,
helicopters.
somebody
Oh
dropped
yeah.
off.
No, I do. I get in helicopters, but not with kids that I don't know driving
Yeah.
them.
So
So
Robert,
go
how
ahead. Go
your
ahead.
son was he interested doing the your new business, or what made you two decide to do that together?
He got his license down in Florida when he was working in Florida and really enjoyed it. Then he said, "Dad, we're pretty well known up in Maine. I think I'm going to start to call and make some calls with some prospects up in Maine and see what I can do." And so, lo and behold, he started doing that, and he sold a 19-unit multifamily complex for like 4 million. He sold a hotel in Old Orchard Beach for 4 million. He's doing
Oh my
well. And
gosh.
so
Oh,
I
but
said,
Gene,
19 years
you meet
old.
this kid. He is so aggressive
yeah.
and
I mean, in a
smart.
nice way, Jeannie. He's not
Oh
a
yeah,
he's
no,
not
yeah,
a
No,
yeah.
you are
Not
such a
rude,
gentleman, Robert. I
but
can't imagine anything but.
he took advantage of being a doorman at the Breakers, which
yes.
is like the most prestigious place you could be in
I
Is
know.
that
Florida.
right?
Stay at the Breakers.
Oh
And I
yeah.
remember talking to him. He met everybody, but he's
Oh
got that
God.
kind of personality.
Yeah.
So he's your friend the minute you meet him.
He just loves people. He's so smart. He went to the University of Maine and he said, "Dad, I don't know. I want to get out and I want to work. I want to develop
Yeah.
a career." Okay. All right. I mean, as the oldest of eight, seven of us graduated from the University of Maine. Great school.
Oh,
We
wow.
give back a lot. I've been on the board of visitors and I was an adjunct professor for a few years up there. So I said, "All right, Teddy, but this is going to be tough." He says, "Well,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go to Florida and learn the hotel business." So that's what brought him down to Florida. And he was working for a company that they're a great family, the Walsh family, from Bangor, but they own probably more hotels uh, in the United States than anybody. They own Marriott's and Hilton's. They got their own brand now called
Oh, wow.
Opal. So Teddy started working. They gave him a little one-room place to stay in Delray Beach.
I remember that.
You couldn't even cook anything, and but he could walk to the hotel at Delray Beach, the Opal, and first thing he was learning how to make beds and clean toilets. And
Nice.
did that, worked hard. And he kept saying, Dad, I don't know if I could, this is tough. Just stick it out. It's a process, Ted. You got to, look, when I started, I was washing dishes and sweeping floors in a restaurant. So,
Right.
don't and he did. He stuck with it and elevated himself to the front desk. And he says, I think I want to do some real estate. He's met a lot of people in the real estate business. Donald Trump, came by one day and at the Breakers. He met him at the Breakers.
Right.
And just a lot of people he was exposed to. And he said, I think I can do this. And
But he's got the personality, he's got the looks, he's got it all.
he does. He does.
And smart.
So on my Lebanese side, my mother's side, as I started to say, and I know probably a high percentage of your listeners are Italians. Is that true?
I would imagine.
I imagine. But on the Lebanese side, I've got uh, my mother is 100% Lebanese. My dad is 100% Italian. So I'm 50-50. And I don't know if you've tried any of the Lebanese cuisine.
Oh my God, it's the best.
It isn't a so I
I
Jeannie,
love it.
it's the Italian and Lebanese. It's the best food in the world. Best food in the world.
Well,
And
the
it's so good
Lebanese,
for
I'll
you.
tell you right now, their seasoning is a lot lighter than ours. I like it better, actually, in a lot of
Yeah,
dishes.
absolutely, absolutely. So my we call it sittu would be doing a lot of the cooking. And back then, our families on Sunday, my grandmother would come over. My grandmother from my Lebanese grandmother, they got along great, and all of us would be around the table, and it was all an all day affair, just
I
eating.
remember those well. You
Yeah,
sit
I'm
down
sure
at
you
two
do.
o'clock and get up at 9 to go home.
Those days are gone though.
Oh, I know.
I try to keep everybody together, the families together,
Every, but
kids, and
everybody's so
hard.
busy with their own stuff.
They
That's
they they are. Yeah.
and they're missing out on what we
Right.
all grew up with.
I agree, Gianni. I mean, it's family. I mean, Jeannie, you've got a great family, and I see your postings on Facebook and
Yeah.
how proud you are of your kids. And I
Thank
mean,
you.
that's what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
And
That is true. And listening to you and your family and Gianni too, and I'm just picturing these big family Sunday dinners and stuff. And we always got together, but my mom's house was just a little different than your guys's because I grew up with, you'll love this, a little magnet on the fridge that said if God wanted me to cook, he wouldn't have invented restaurants.
that's good. That's good.
So there were no big dinners here at home, but we were always hanging out and go, my kids would love it if I didn't call all four of them every day. I bug them all the time, but that
Yeah.
is, I always joke around. I'm like, no, I grew up with that magnet. No one was saying, come on, we're going to teach you. We're going to learn sauces today. But
Yeah.
I have a wonderful mother and 5 girls, and some of them are good cooks. I am not. Well, I cook fine. I just don't ever do it.
Well, I love to cook, and I know Gianni does too. And
Yeah.
there was a treat to have dinner at your place, Gianni. And our mutual good friend Matt Savito definitely wants to
We
schedule a
got to do
time.
that. I want to
Absolutely.
have him on the show. In fact, we were going through the mailbag, and some people we want to know when he's coming back on the
He'll
show.
be coming back.
Yeah, yeah, he's great. He's a
Yeah,
wonderful
yeah, he's really
personality.
nice guy.
But one
Well,
of
my
the
friend,
things,
I got to thank you for all
yes,
this time. I'm
thank
so
you.
proud of you and Teddy and all that you do. And I just hope you don't think I'm exploiting our
No,
friendship.
you're not. No,
I'm
it,
just
it,
proud
it
of
was
you.
an honor, Gianni, to be on your show, and particularly to talk about my family and to engage with both you and Jeannie very much.
Well, I was thrilled when Gianni said, "Hey, can you do a podcast tomorrow?" and said we're gonna have Robert on, and I said, "Oh, yay!" And he said, "You remember him?" I said, "Absolutely."
Thank you.
So I'm so happy for you and to
Thank
get to
you.
work with your boy. There's nothing better.
I know. I know.
Fun than that.
Yep.
No,
So
he's
if
That's
a,
so
anybody
awesome.
needs any help with any real estate in the New England market, give us a call.
Send him your
what's
way.
what's the name of the firm? Come on.
Yes.
It's Keller Williams Portland, the Baldacci Group, and you can call me or Teddy. either one. And
Make sure you send Jeannie, because you have an email.
I will. I will.
No, we want to
Yep.
post it on the show.
All right. Thank you. That would be
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I can't imagine anything more fun than get to work
Thank
with
you.
one of my kids every day. And
Thank
it sounds like, I mean, it sounds like you have a very successful group of kids that are doing great things. That's
Blessed.
so cool. Yes.
Very blessed. Thank
Well,
you.
thanks for sharing that with us. It's just so
Barbara,
cool.
love you.
God bless.
All right, please.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night to all our friends out there. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Gianni.
That's it.
Roll the lights, hit the scene. A legend walks in stride. Gianni's got the stories from the coast to countryside. Jeannie's got the questions, sharp as Sinatra's sway. Every Wednesday night we take you all the way. From the back streets of Tinseltown to the Trattoria's glow. Old Hollywood meets Mafia tales.